feminists are saying, hold on a minute, these all-women candidate lists were devised to get more women into politics. So, which is a laudable aim in that sense. But hold on. If you're going to allow men onto those candidate lists just because they say they identify as a woman, well, that's going to be against getting more women into politics. Because what you're doing is getting people in men's bodies who say they identify as a woman into politics. So there's a conflict there. And what happens? The usual thing. The transgender activists say women that are challenging that are bigots and transphobic. Usual thing. In this factless society we now increasingly live in. So what's happened here with this Canadian decision is that men who say they identify as women can now take part in women's sport. Now, it's apparently transphobic to say that men's bodies and women's bodies are a different gender, a different biology. But they bloody well are. And I refuse to say 2 and 2 equals 5, thank you very much. It equals 4, and I'm sticking with it. And we've got professors who've been at universities who've been sacked for pointing out that there are biological differences between men and women. It's true, it's factual, but it's against the agenda, so therefore you can't say it. 2 and 2 equals 5, okay? Now, we're now having the right of men with bigger, more powerful bodies to take part in women's sport. So where does that leave women in sport? How can they compete in events where the power of the body is highly relevant and have a level playing field? They can't. I mean, there's a transgender wrestler keeps winning the World Women's Wrestling Championship. Well, he's a bloke in terms of his body. Of course he's going to win it. But you see, as I keep pointing out, what keeps coming along are smaller and smaller victim groups that go to the top of the hierarchy of victimhood, therefore political correctness, and push others that were near the top before down. And women are now being pushed down by transgender. This is where the conflict between feminists and transgender activists. And notice I keep saying transgender activists, because genuine transgender people who are coming from a point of view, well, it's just how I feel, it's just how I am, and I'm going through the transition, or I've gone through the transition. They're not the ones that are driving all this. It's the activists. So when I asked the question there, the end of women's sport, question mark, of course, if this continues, certainly in Canada, it is in that sense, but wider. I don't think anyone think it's going to stay where it is in Canada. If you're allowing transgender men with powerful bodies to take part in women's sport, well, that's the end of women's sport. Because the women's ability to compete is deleted.